electromagnetic waves in isotropic dielectric media. First of all, we should explain basic knowledge about dielectric media, isotropic, plane waves, electromagnetic waves. Now, these are explained one by one. Dielectrics. Dielectrics are material like glass, ebonite, rubber, oils, waxes, etc., which are characterized by the property that they do not mobile electrons as conductor have. Next, we explain isotropic medium. A non-conducting media which has same properties in all directions is called isotropic medium. Next, we explain plane waves. A plane wave is one in which the wave amplitude is constant over all points of a plane normal to the direction of propagation. Now, we explain what is electromagnetic waves or how it is generated. It is known to all that fields generated by the moving charges can leave the source and travel through space in the form of waves. According to electromagnetic induction, the time variation of a magnetic field induces an electric field, while a variation of an electric field induces a magnetic field, and electromagnetic fields can exist independently without electric charges and current. Thus, the continuous interconversion of the fields preserves them, and an electromagnetic perturbation propagates in space. Such fields are called electromagnetic waves. This diagram shows that how electromagnetic waves propagates or the form of wave pattern. We know electromagnetic waves are constructed to varying electric fields and magnetic fields, and they are perpendicular to each other and also the direction of propagation. Here, this field is the electric field and gives the pattern of the electric field variation, and also these fields are the magnetic fields, and these two fields are both are perpendicular to each other. If we consider this direction is the x direction and this direction is the y direction and this direction is the z direction, then they form a three-dimensional picture, that is magnetic field along this direction, and this magnetic field and electric field both are perpendicular to each other, and also they are perpendicular to the direction of the propagation. Here, the direction of the wave propagation in along this direction. Now, electromagnetic wavification from Maxwell equation. We have the four Maxwell's equation, which are divergence D is equal to rho, divergence B is equal to 0, curl E is equal to minus del P del T, and curl H is equal to J plus del D del T. Here, D are the electric displacement vector, capital B is the magnetic induction vector, and capital E the electric field vector, and capital H the magnetic field intensity, and J is the current density. And these quantities, that is B and H, are related by the equation B is equal to mu H, where mu is the magnetic permeability, and capital D is related with E by epsilon E into capital E, where epsilon is the permittivity of the medium, and also the relation in between current density and electric field vector is J is equal to sigma E, where sigma is the conductivity of the medium. In isotropic dielectric medium, the value of rho and sigma both are equal to 0, and also current density J is equal to 0. Thus, if we put this value, Maxwell's equation reduces to that divergence E is equal to 0, divergence H is equal to 0, and curl E is equal to minus mu del H del T, and curl H is equal to epsilon del E del T. To derive the electromagnetic wave equation, we take the curl both sides on equation 3 and apply the condition divergence E is equal to 0 and curl H is equal to epsilon del E del T. Then we have curl of curl E is equal to minus mu del T of curl H. We expand it by vector identity, which is gradient of del dot E minus del square E, that's equal to minus mu into del T curl H. As divergence E is equal to 0 and curl H is equal to epsilon del E del T, which are from Maxwell's equation, we find that after putting del dot E is equal to 0, then del square E is equal to minus mu epsilon del square E del T square is equal to 0. And in similar way, if we take curl on both sides, this equation, that is curl H is equal to epsilon del E del T, and put the condition divergence H is equal to 0 and curl L is equal to minus mu del H del T, then we find del square H minus mu epsilon del square H del T square is equal to 0. The equation 5 and 6 represents wave equation governing electromagnetic field E and H in dielectric medium. Also, these are vector equation having 6 components of E and H separately satisfies the same scalar wave equation of the form del square psi minus 1 by v square del square psi del T square is equal to 0. Here psi stands for the component of the electric field and component of H field, that is, it may be Ex, Ey, Ez or Hx, Hy, Az, where Ex, Ey, Ez are the component for x, y, and z direction, and also Hx, Hy and Az are the component of x, y, z direction of the magnetic field. Thus, our scalar equation of the field, that is del square psi minus 1 by v square del square psi del T square is 0, where v is the speed of the electromagnetic wave is given by 1 by root over mu epsilon. Now you know mu is equal to mu r mu 0 and epsilon is equal to epsilon r into epsilon 0. And if we put this value, and also 1 by root over mu 0 and epsilon 0 is the speed of the wave, then that can be written c, which is the speed of the electromagnetic wave in free space. Thus v is equal to c divided by root over epsilon r into mu1. And from this equation, root over mu r epsilon r is equal to c by v. Again, we know the refractivity n is equal to c by v, where c is the velocity of the light in free space divided by velocity of the light in said medium. Hence, from these two equation, after comparing, we find n is equal to root over mu r epsilon r, and this n is known as refractive index of the medium. Now, the plane wave solution of equation 5, 6, 7, that is the equation del square psi minus 1 by v square del square psi del t square 0, or del square e minus 1 by v square del square e del t square. That type equation is well known form may be written as capital E, which is the function of RT, is equal to E0 e to the power I k dot r minus omega t, and H is equal to H0 e to the power I k dot r minus omega t, and also psi RT is equal to psi naught e to the power I k dot r minus omega t, where E0, H0, psi 0 are the complex amplitude of which are constant in space and time, while k is wave propagation vector. Now we explain the properties of the electromagnetic waves. The first property is the electromagnetic waves are transverse in nature. To establish these properties, we apply the condition which are divergence E is equal to 0 and divergence H is equal to 0. Now we have the plane wave solution form capital E is equal to E0 e to the power I k dot r minus omega t, where k is the wave vector and omega is the angular frequency of the wave. Then if we take divergence of this equation both sides, we find divergence E is equal to I k dot E. After calculating of divergence of this quantity, we find I k dot E. Similarly, if we take divergence of for this equation, we find divergence H is equal to I k dot H. Again, from Maxwell's equation, we know divergence E is equal to 0. This implies that I k dot E is equal to 0. That is, k vector and E vector are also perpendicular to each other. This can be result from the dot product of the two vector. Thus, k vector and E vector are perpendicular to each other, and also as I to k dot H is equal to 0, that means k is the perpendicular to H. From these two properties, we can conclude that electric field vector E and magnetic field vector H both are perpendicular to each other. Now we see that the electric field vector and magnetic field vector are perpendicular to direction of propagation, that is k vector, but we do not know that is there perpendicular to E vector and H vector. This can be verified that E vector and H vector both are perpendicular to each other by in this way we consider the Maxwell equation, which are called E is equal to minus mu h del h del t. As we have E is equal to E0 e to the power I k dot r minus omega t, in taking curl on this equation we find I k cross E, and also for minus mu del h del t, that is time derivative on h field, that is here is the h field, we find minus I omega h. That means minus mu del h del t is equal to I mu omega h. Hence we find k cross E is equal to mu omega h. As these two equations are the vector cross product, that is k cross E, and h is also vector, from this equation we conclude that the h vector, that is magnetic field vector, are perpendicular to both k vector and electric field vector. And also we can show that the electric field vector both are perpendicular to k vector and h fielder, and this can be verified by taking curl h is equal to epsilon del E del t, and if we take curl on this equation we find curl h is equal to I k cross h, and also we take del E del t, that is time partial time derivative of E, then we find minus I omega E. That means from this two equation I find k cross h is equal to minus epsilon omega E. Thus here with this help of two equation I prove that the electric field vector and magnetic field vector both are perpendicular to each other, this is mutually perpendicular, and also they are perpendicular to the propagation of direction vector. Now next we understand the what is wave impedance. The ratio of magnitude of E to the magnitude of H is called wave impedance, because if we take ratio of E to H, then we find as E is equal to dimension of volt by meter and magnetic field ampere by meter, hence this is equal to ohm. Thus this is the unit of impedance. That's why the ratio of the E by H is called the wave impedance. Now we find the value of this. We know the H is equal to k cross E by mu omega. Then if we write k is equal to magnitude of k into n hat, then we take magnitude, that is E by H, that's equal to mu omega by k, and also omega by k is equal to velocity of the wave, then put the value v is equal to 1 by root over mu 0 mu or epsilon 0, then we find this quantity, that is magnitude of E by H is equal to root over mu by epsilon is equal to this, and also we know mu 0 by epsilon 0, this ratio, and then z is equal to z0 into root over mu 0 by epsilon 0. This implies that the field vector E and H are in same phase. From this we conclude that field vector E and H are in same phase. because this quantity is the real quantity. Now next we find the value of Poynting vector. Poynting vector for a plane electromagnetic wave in an isotropic dielectric medium is given by n is equal to E cross H, represents the rate at which the energy is radiated across unit area. The vector n is equal to E cross H gives the instantaneous rate of energy flow. The vector E and H vary harmonically with time. The average energy can be found by taking up n is equal to E cross H over a complete cycle. That is, average n is equal to average of real part of E cross real part of H. Now, electric field vector E as the complex quantity, we may write it E is equal to E1 plus I E2 into e to the power minus I omega t, and H is equal to H1 plus I H2 e to the power minus I omega t. After calculating, we find average value of real part E cross real part of H is equal to half into E1 cross H1 plus E2 cross H2, and here E1 H1 and E2 H2 all are real quantity, and also these are the vector quantity, and this calculation is lengthy and rigorous, and if we proceed it, then it can be found. Again, if we take the real part of the E cross H star, then H star is the conjugate of the H, as E and H are complex quantity. Then after calculating, we find that this quantity is equal to E1 cross H1 plus E2 cross H2. Therefore, from these two data, we find that average value of n is equal to the half of real part of E cross H star. Now, from this equation we find the value of the average of Poynting vector, as we know H star is equal to K cross E star divided by mu omega. Now, E cross H star is equal to, put the value of H star for this, that is E cross K cross E star by mu omega is equal to, we take from cross product of triple vector, that is E dot E star into K vector minus E dot K into E star by mu omega. Again we know the E vector and K vector are perpendicular to each other, therefore E dot K is equal to 0, thus equal to, and E dot E is the complex conjugate, that's why it's the amplitude square, that is mod of E0 square by mu omega into K. Thus, we find average value of n star is equal to half of real value of E cross H star, but real part of this is equal to, that is real part of E cross H star is equal to E0 square by mu omega into K, that is n average is equal to half of root over epsilon mu into E0 square by n, and this can be written in this way, that is K is the direction of n hat, which say that is K into n hat, and this term written as mu into omega by K, and omega by K is the V, that is the velocity of the wave, and also V is equal to 1 by mu epsilon root, then this term can be write as a half into root over epsilon by mu into E0 square into n hat, where n hat is the direction of the propagation of the vector. Next we find the ratio of the electrostatic and magnetostatic energy. We know the density of the electrostatic energy is equal to half epsilon E square, and magnetostatic energy is on half mu H square, and this equal to E by mu, and also know the E square by E square summon mu by epsilon, that's equal to 1. From this we say that UE is equal to ME. Thus the total electromagnetic energy density is U, so on UE plus ME. As UE is equal to ME, then this equal to 2 into half of UE, that is 2 into half of epsilon E square, that's equal to epsilon E square. Again, time average energy density is U average on epsilon into E square RMS. Hence, N average by U average, that's equal to, as we find N average is equal to root epsilon by mu into E square RMS, and U average is equal to epsilon E square RMS. Then we find N average by E average is equal to V by root over mu epsilon, that's equal to V into N unit vector. Thus we find N average is equal to U average into Vn, that is the energy flux is equal to energy density into V. Thank you for watching video.